Welcome to my cake kitchen. If we're meeting for the first time, hi there, I'm Gladys. I make cakes. I love cakes. I must have told you lately, I love cakes so much. Dolly, welcome to the chat. Tharpita, good morning. Good afternoon. How are you? I am actually streaming from my UK-based home kitchen, and if we're meeting for the first time, hello there. I'm Gladys. Have I told you lately? I love cakes. Over here, I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate cake decorating easily. And boy, have we gone through a ton of cake decorating videos, a lot of them. I think last time I checked, there's about 816 single videos, but that includes videos of all formats, from the live shows to the long form formats to shorts and everything else in between. There is posts for you to see. We're catching up every day. By the way, whilst we're at it, I should say I have a poorly child that is just next door to me, and so my attention is going to be split. I'm going to try and make sure I can keep you entertained for a full hour and a little bit if I can. But yes, the regulars and the everyday people who keep me so fulfilled, happy and content over here. Agreement does not break us apart, okay? We are a wholesome. Can I continue saying that? Okay, hopefully when we reach 1 million subscribers, let's come back and say it's wholesome, because I found out very quickly, the quicker you grow, the more problematic it becomes. But we're not speaking that into existence. We are still humans, and we have a level of autonomy, agency and control over the choices we make. So whilst we're here, I will say, be kind to your neighbor. I have some very, very helpful moderators in the channel there. There is Tharpita and there is Lollipop. Lovely ladies that will keep you entertained and engaged in the chat. So do join us. Keep an open heart, keep an open mind, okay? And yes, let's get on with it. What are we doing today? Look, I feel like myself today. Do I? Can you feel it? Okay. Oh God, I feel like myself today because I hadn't been well for 2 weeks, and yesterday I was just trying to get back into the swing of things. And today I kind of feel like, okay, we're back to normal again. So it's exciting. What are we doing today? Catching up with you guys, and also probably going to use this as an opportunity to cut some of my cakes so that I can get rid of the cakes and look at the number of servings on the cakes. Okay, we're looking at the number of servings we can get on some of the cakes. We might be touching on the subject of cake prices. We might be talking about what, you know, making realistic cakes nearly look like, or carved cakes look like. And I'll be handing you tips on how you can achieve great results. And by the way, look out for a video coming out on Sunday. Lollipop and Tharpita, I was telling you I was tinkering in the kitchen. I ended up going to bed about 2 a.m. last night. Ask me what that was all about. Well, I was filming a video overnight. Nothing serious. I think I've gone back to the very here, from cakes to bun cakes to tray bakes to simplistic bakes, and then we're going to start from there. And the tools and equipment I will be recommending in the video, what I'm going to do is that I am going to come back in subsequent episodes of the Baking Basics series, a bit like Simple Classic Bakes, and then I'm going to use the tools I recommend to bake the stuff for you. So by so doing, what I intend would happen is you have a one-stop shop, or a place where you know that there's a series of videos that actually takes you through the recommended items and how I use them. I think by so doing, you have a very visual representation of what recommendations of equipment there are on the market and how you can use them, so that you can have some sort of clarity, and then it becomes like a resource also for you. So these videos lack in-depth production value, because they're going to be a series of videos that I'm going to have to churn out quickly. What you will not be short on is the stuff or the amount of information in those videos. So I am just making a small appeal here that if you're here supporting me, at the moment we do not have any form of monetization on the channel. I don't have memberships, Patreon, none of that. Everything I'm giving you is just out of the investment of my time and knowledge and skill and everything else. So the only request I can make of you is that please, when you watch the videos, do engage with them. Take your time to watch them, even if you don't like them all the time, and even if your attention doesn't like you, do engage with them, because that is the only guaranteed form of support we can have on here, at least for now. Maybe there's opportunities in the videos and I'm making different considerations, but like I've said, I have always been led by the intention to give you value. So trust, if I'm not convinced about the amount of value that is in a particular thing, I will not be introducing any forms of monetization. But you know what, we are growing, so as we are moving forward, there are different things I have to try in the future. So I hope you stick around. Dolly, I actually wanted to talk to you, but you know what, you're leaving, so let's catch up later, okay? Text me or something, okay? Try and get in touch and let's catch up later. All the best, and thanks for being here today with us. That said, guys, good morning, Lady Lately. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, you're getting your coffee? Oh, you want a Lady Lately wants a slice of this. Did you know this is scrap cake? Okay, this is scrap cake. So people, let's just see. I have the cake here, but did I tell you I have hoarded? Remember? Who remembers this cake we made a long time ago? Look, the cake is still solid. Look, it is still solid. We need to cut into this cake now. It's been a long time. Nobody's eating this cake, and I've hoarded this cake for so long. It's like, why am I keeping these cakes? Why? Okay, the burger cake is so dry. Don't judge me. I'm just hoarding, okay? And I'm trying to let go. I'm trying to let go. Okay, don't judge me, okay? We are cutting into the cakes today. We are letting go, okay? We are letting go, okay? Let's just do that. But Lollipop, how are you, by the way? So far, for those of you who have been here through the process of all these carved cake processes, what do you think? Do you think that you are going to be able to achieve some success by making these cakes? What are some of the things you have learned? Carpenter, don't encourage me. Carpenter is like, there are worse things to hoard. I know. I just don't want to hoard. Okay? I want a clutter-free space, because cluttering in the name of hoarding is just not good. Okay? It's just not a good thing at all. Look. I know. You know? So there we have it. So here's a question for you. If you've been here and you've seen us through the processes of these cakes, are these cakes, do you think you can make this cake? And do you think, and the processes for achieving the looks of the cake, do you think they are achievable for you? And what would you do differently if you were given the chance? I like this cake. I like the simplistic nature of it, and it's fairly achievable. So imagine if you know somebody who loves tea or coffee, you can easily make it. And the reason why it's super beginner friendly is so that it is very attainable for you to do. Okay, so there we have it. After carving the cakes, I'm like, you know what, yesterday I will create a short for you to see in the future. The football cake, I let the football cake sit in the fridge till pressure built in it, and then it cracked. I had a gushing crack, and then I took it to the field, and I wanted my son to kick it. And I'm like, for those people who actually take time to film the cake being hyper realistic, and then you either make it look like the beach, I'm like, I don't have that patience. I don't have that time at all. So no, I just went and my son kicked it, and the cake cracked into two, and I was walking looking for a bin to put the cake in. I'm like, look, you may think there might be something so wondrous about me making cakes, Look, half of the time I'm either like thinking about just wanting to discard the cake and be done so I can move on to the next thing. Because I make cakes literally every day. When I left the channel yesterday after the live, my evening moved on. And by the end of the evening, I was back in the kitchen organizing, resetting, and then trying to film a whole video. The video took me about, it's a solid 40 minutes video that I have to kind of like edit down to best case scenario 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot to go through, and the more cakes I make, I'm like, oh god, that's I look at my catalog and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of cakes. Okay, so yeah, my goal is always to think about how I can make the processes attainable for you people. Okay, right. Tapita said, I'm pretty sure at this point I've gained enough confidence to just go whip up something. I just needed to see how easy making your imagination come to life. Thank you, Tapita. You know what? I am so glad you feel that way, because essentially that is the reason for the lives. Because if it wasn't for that reason, I could just spend the time making long form videos and then there would not be any interaction. But I also think there is some sort of value to bringing you the raw decorating process, because you know what, yes, people eat what they see. Okay, and I cannot overemphasize the importance of branding yourself in a way where people have confidence in what they are buying, the way it is presented. I mean, the intention to take a photograph that looks presentable is an art form in itself. Okay, does that mean you should go and use Photoshop and misrepresent the item you are photographing? Not at all. In fact, you'd be surprised to know most of the photos you see on the community posts, whether they are looking fine and polished, are actually the raw images that I take over my Samsung. I think modern phones are very advanced in the ways you can photograph things, and if you put a little bit of thought, you can photograph items without even the editing and it will still look fantastic. And I am no photographer, I am no pro, and I'm actually very lazy when it comes to kind of tinkering and playing with the images. So what you see on the community posts are very raw images. But if I go back to, for instance, my website, the images you see there, you will be surprised that a lot of them were taken on my phone as well. And that wasn't on a Samsung S23. They were taken on a much less superior phone. I think it was a Huawei years ago. But the intention was to always photograph it better. And if I had just stuck to that sort of controlled, organized presentation, of course, the images look clean. They are realistically a representation of my skill and artistry. So do I have any doubt that I couldn't produce the work? No, I don't have any doubt about my skill at all. However, being on the platform and recognizing that there has to be an element of relatability. Okay, if I came and I had already practiced and done all the things I need to do, what will be the value proposition here? Because the value proposition for me is to actually let you know that the cake decorating process has its challenges, but you can solve those challenges and make progress and achieve better results. And so even now in my videos, as you can see, the videos are not scripted. The idea and concept remains as is. Okay, what you see is me just literally riffing through a moment of baking. What I'll be doing with my friends. Say, when I'm filming, I'll tell you what the intention is when I'm filming, where my head is at. Like, I think when I'm filming, I have any of you sitting right outside my door. You probably care a little bit about cake, but you care about me more and the nonsense I'm probably talking about cakes. And you're like, can you be done so we know we can eat this good thing? So in my mind, I have a friend sitting at my door that I am just passionately telling about this thing that I enjoy and I know they don't care about, but I'm just excited they are indulging me. And that is the intention I've now brought to my video. So if you see me on a video, it is exactly me. The only thing I do extra is kind of organize my thoughts better and also ensure that I can communicate what I am trying to communicate in a succinct way, even though I fail horribly at that, okay? But just try and be presentable. Otherwise, everything else, if you woke me up in the morning and asked me a question about cakes, I could answer you. And I bring that sort of personality in the long form videos. So as a result, even the long form videos are now seeing me in my raw form, where whether I am bumping into items in the kitchen or I am kind of feeling a little bit disorganized in the kitchen, you're seeing me in real time in the kitchen, because that's the beauty of life. We can't be perfect, and trust me when I say I am no perfect human being over here. I have, like, people, I have an unsettled spirit, okay? And I am forever like I am just in recovery for God's grace. That's all I'm going to say. So I am so happy. Look at me. I went all off on a tangent. When you say you feel that you can achieve some results with your baking and decorating because of what we do here, I think my job is done. And for that, I am eternally grateful for you, your love and support being on here. Oh, well, Lollipop says, the cakes are great. You make them seem so easy to get it done. So I could probably give it a go, but I'll probably just use the tips and tricks to impose on my cakes wherever that takes me. And that's the beauty of it, Lollipop. I've literally, you know what? The tips and tricks, like when you challenged yourself to make the cake for your family and we were talking about it, I know you were a little down on yourself, Debbie Downer, telling yourself how, trying to defend how unamazing the cake looked, but happy about how it tasted. It must be a toxic trait if you think that trying something from the start is always going to look amazing. I think one of these days I'm going to create a video about, I'm going to go into my gallery, show by hand if you want to see this, okay? Show by hand. I think as I've done the lives, I've gotten better at being able to feel relaxed, because I think doing something on camera is a comfort thing for me. And it kind of assures me that I can engage with you. If you leave me talking to the camera by myself without anything, I am kind of thinking it's boring and I don't know what to do. But one of these days, I'm going to come back and I'll sit down and I'll go into my gallery of images.
Mama, the phone needs charging.
Oh, okay. I told you I have a poorly guy at home. He needs my attention. Let me go attend to him. I'll be back shortly. I'll come and tell you about the gallery of images. All right? Okay, baby. Here, come here. Right. Do you want to eat first, please? Okay. Oh, I think the charger is upstairs in the bedroom. Yeah. Yeah, baby. No, this one. Come on, because you need one that will stay. Okay, here. Here, you need to come this way.
I know.
Do you want a chicken sandwich then?
Yeah, I said yes.
There you go. You need to go down this way. Yeah, there you go. It's charging. Thank you, people. Thank you, people. Thank you, people. I'm back. A mother's job is never done. So, yeah, I had to go and attend to him. Lovely guy. Sapita, I've passed your regards. He's fine. He's fine. It's just that the school has a policy that even if you've had, say, a bug or something, you have to wait 48 hours to come back. So even though he's faring well, today is his last day and he's back to school tomorrow. So I was saying, yeah, where I left off. I was saying, I'm going to have to come back and sit down and talk to you and then go into my gallery of images from when I started. Hopefully I have a lot of them, because some of them have like, as in, I couldn't save all of them when I first started. And I'm going to go find some of those images, and then we can come and see. You will see, okay? You will see the journey, and I'll tell you some of the stories around the cakes that will blow your mind, okay? I cannot believe how much I sold certain cakes when I started. But you know what? When I come back to talk about it, I will be talking about it in a very is it introspective way where there are lessons that I can pass on. So if you like to see a video like that, let me know in the chat. And then yeah, but otherwise yeah, the little guy is over there. Let's see what you girls are saying to me. Tafeta, I give you the full 40, my dear. I can't help it. You guys just make me feel special. Okay, thank you. That's part of the value I get from you these days, that you let it be raw and real. Like yesterday when you mentioned you went no, I wasn't, sis. I wasn't about to set up a whole camera and try. No, I just cut to the part where it's like, you know what, when you look at the video, it's like even the sound, you can tell. Because the camera went out, because I shoot on 2 angles. One is a DSLR and the other is on my phone there. So look, let me give you some insight to some things you may not be thinking about, but it's kind of funny to tell you, okay? When you're watching my video, every time you see me, my face, that's camera A, that's a DSLR camera, right? And every time it cuts to a hand, okay, that's the angle B, okay? That's the camera B, and that's my phone, actually. And both the microphone that I have is connected to the camera, so that's the sound you can hear, right? The phone has no microphone, but it records. So the difference in sounds, you can tell when you can tell sometimes. So say the phone sound is not the best quality, and sometimes I have to rely on that for backup. So a good clue that the camera went out was, you can see when you watch the muffin video that you could hear me going, oh, I can't even lie, this is amazing, right? And you can see my hands tinkering, doing stuff on camera. That was what you call B-roll. I had to do those shots after the fact. But that is because I was looking for a particular angle. So you can see my hands moving, and then my voice is talking, you can't see me. And then it pans to me with a plate. And that's because when I ate the muffin and I was talking about it, the camera A had cut out, so I didn't have a mic on. And the camera B, which was the phone that picked the sound, didn't have me, my face eating. It only had me and this part. So I'm like, you know what, this is the part, I'm not going to do a retake, I just cut to it. So the exciting part is that I never thought that my filming habits and the intention around it would be even a subject of discussion, but here we are. That's the excitement of it. So people, I am so glad that I can have people who just indulge me and my passions over here. And for that, I am eternally grateful. Lollipop says about the toxic habit of wanting things perfect. Lollipop says, I always want perfect, but feel like I could have done better always. I spend the day and night before my eldest 7th birthday making a balloon arc. Okay, just a ribbon and balloons and bags of rice as weight. Never again. Oh, you don't want to. Okay, I wanted to say you don't want to be a Meghan Markle, then do it yourself. I think the subject of Meghan Markle has become divisive lately. I'm going to leave that subject alone, okay? Let's just move on. So yes, sometimes it looks easy, I know, but you know what? I think the magic is just trying. Even when it looks hard, because you do it once, it's hard. You do it twice, it seems a little less, because this time you know your way. And then eventually it becomes like second nature. But I know that sometimes we don't have the commitment. If I don't like something, you couldn't pay me to do it. So that's another thing. So yeah, it's easier said than done. to have commitment, but I know that committing to something that you absolutely loathe can be a little hard. Right, Tapita is asking, when you started this YouTube channel, did you ever think this is what it would become? No. Okay, no. And that's a short answer, no. And that's hand on my heart, honest answer. I'll tell you where my mind was at when I started the YouTube channel, right? I'll tell you this. I didn't start a YouTube channel for the hobby of it. Okay, I didn't start it for people who think, oh, the amount of time and investment that goes into a YouTube channel is no joke. Okay, and I'm sure I'm not the only person who would have said that. It's no joke. It's a lot of grind. You'd be surprised if I sat you down. I could be getting paid for a corporate job for way more than my life would ever earn if I compare the time and resources that I spend on a YouTube channel. Okay, so as a matter of fact, I didn't start a YouTube channel because I thought I had a funny hobby on the side. I have so many hobbies I can go and enjoy. Okay, part of it is just sitting in my house and relaxing and doing some knitting. Running a YouTube channel was never a hobby. It was always going to be a business. But I was also self-aware, because the good thing about growth and being older and doing something that you've watched other people already do and achieve success at is that you can learn from it. So here's how I approached YouTube. I always wanted to make something out of it, but I didn't know the ins and outs of it. And that's a lesson in itself. And here's the lesson. If you have an idea to do something, don't be bogged down by the outcomes of it. Start anyway, because the starting presents you with a certain level of experience that nothing would ever prepare you for and no one could ever tell you about. I mean, I watched countless amounts of videos about how fulfilling YouTube can be, and we've literally, all of us here have had the experience of watching creators go from nothing to absolutely amazing worldwide success. Okay, and whilst we feel like we've seen their journeys, we have no idea what that looks like. Even if they are creating videos telling us what it looks like, you will never know what it looks like until you are experiencing it for yourself. So I always knew I wanted to make something out of it, right? And I wanted to make something out of it, something valuable, because here's the thing. As a person, okay, I am not young, okay? I'm nearly 40. I might look like I'm 23, okay? But I am nearly 40. So for that matter, I didn't think I was going to show up and be like, hey, look at me, look at my dress. No judgment to those who do. I don't think I am that interesting to focus my life on me and what I wear and my life, my family life, because you know what, families are not perfect, and mothering and motherhood is hard, and as a person I have different facets of me, but I also know they are set in my own small myopic experience. Okay, if I came here and my life was about telling you about a Black immigrant baker, that sort of experience is only a snapshot of who I am over here. And I don't think there is a certain level of value, but I don't think it's career defining. Okay, so I am just incredibly grateful. And when I say I am grateful, hear my heart when I say I am so incredibly grateful that I have a skill, something. I live for what I have, because otherwise I would just fade into oblivion. I don't feel like I would be made for coming to tell you about my life and drama in my life and exposing everything about my life for the sake of a YouTube video. No, because actually, I tell you what, I am content with my life. There are things I want to achieve, but outside of the camera, I am intensely private. You'd be surprised. I am intense, and that's because that's come with age. Okay, I have people in my life that I respect, I have relationships with. My mom is still with me, as in my mom is still alive, my sisters. I have a very grounded life where I don't do this for validation. This here, No, you know, I have a son I love so dearly, okay? Life is not perfect, but I am just grateful for what I have, and the lessons of the challenges of life that has to be handled privately is just mine. If I didn't have this and the Lord hadn't endowed me with anything else, maybe my life will not be this right here, okay? And it still isn't all that my life is. As a cake maker, it's only a snapshot of what I do. So I say that to say, before I came on here, I always knew that I wanted to make something out of it. And here's the reason why. I wasn't a I wasn't a person who was just making YouTube videos for the sake of. I had a business. It was at the formative stages, let's be honest, okay? I wasn't making a lot of money out of it. COVID had happened. My growing business had collapsed. There was nothing to it, but I had the skill. But COVID obviously informed me that there was no certainty anymore in our lives, okay? Because I went from trying to build a thriving wedding cake business to literally weddings were cancelled. Nobody was doing anything. So coming on YouTube was trying to solve a simple problem, which is that I realized that setting up a business, okay, the way I wanted was going to be grinding. It was going to be hard. And the nuances of trying to succeed at something at the formative stages was very challenging. I'll tell you, when I came on and I said I wanted to speak to Dolly, that was something I want because she wants to make the transition. And I think nothing prepares you for the transition until you're getting a first-hand experience. And you would think that I had everything sorted for me before I even went full-time into YouTube. It wasn't that at all. I was struggling financially. I had a job that I had to go to, and I still had to make time for YouTube. And even so, I didn't have the skill. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know what to do. But you know what? I was determined. I was so determined that every step of the way, even with the fails. So actually, fun fact, you will see my very first video still up on YouTube. I haven't taken it down. And actually, I look back at it, even with all the imperfections, with so much pride that I challenged myself to do something so poor from which I grew up from, you know? So yes, I never ever thought I would get to this place, as in I never had a concept of what it would look like. I was just happy that, you know what, I am old enough in my life to know that if you put your all into something and you do it well and you refine your skills and you bring value, there is no way the universe will not reward that. And that goes for everything in life. Forget YouTube. If it's your day job and you showed up at your day job and you were passionate about it and you worked hard at it and you spent your extra time obsessing about how to do your job right, you will climb the ranks, okay? You will succeed. You will get the promotion. And it might not be the same for everybody's experience depending on what challenges are thrown your way. But here's what is on the upside. I am Christian. So I pray and I commit what I can. Literally, I commit everything else to God, knowing that He knows what I don't know. And my responsibility is to follow the rules and the responsibilities He has endowed onto me, which is to do good, to think of the things that are life enhancing and proper, to be kind, and all of these things, whilst they are supposed to be front facing to the next person so that you can have a wholesome existence, I think at the core of it is life enhancing for you. Have you ever just been kind to somebody for the sake of being kind and then come home and felt like, why am I being kind to someone? Do you see what I'm saying? And I think what I say, when I say that, I say that because I'm older. If you'd met me when I was 20 and I was doing YouTube, you probably won't like me, and that's for a fact. Okay. Okay, right? So the experience and thought processes that I bring here has come from life just happening. But you know what? We are still fairly small over here. I am enjoying the connection of our small community, okay? Do I want us to grow? Of course. I mean, can you see the excitement? I want us to grow. Do I want us to get to 1 million subscribers? Definitely. And I hope you're here when we get there, okay? That will be a lot of tangents and a lot of talking and a lot of videos, but it will also be a lot of growth, a lot of satisfaction for you. So here is the lesson for you. Whatever you're doing in your life, okay? Find something you can enjoy doing. Just find it. And you'll be surprised the fulfillment it will give you. And sometimes it will make you money. And that is okay. But just find something. Because before I found cakes, I will tell you about my life before I made cakes. And it was a dreary life. Okay? I had moments where I was so lost. And yeah. And then I found this thing, and it's not so much that cakes are a business. Cake is actually a soothing activity for me. The art of cake decorating is a soothing activity for me, and I would do it even if I didn't have the cameras on. In fact, I spend a lot of the time off camera doing something cake related. I have made cakes for people that I have never shared or talked about. Okay, cakes have left my kitchen and gone to places that only live with me. Okay, and as a business, those moments are not even about the money. Those moments about humanity and connection. And I am so incredibly grateful that as a human being, I have been endowed with something that can bring joy to the world in so many ways. Who doesn't love cake? Who? Tell me one person you've met who doesn't love cake, okay? Even if it's us the cake, okay? And I am just so grateful that I have something, whether I am sharing it with a grieving family, or I am giving it to a neighbor just because it's Tuesday, or I'm standing here sharing my life as a cake maker and what I do. Okay, cake has brought me so much fulfillment and connection in my life, and being on here is just an added blessing for me. And for that, oh my God, I go to bed every day just pinching myself. And that's not because YouTube pays me. YouTube doesn't pay me that much, okay? Okay, but I go to bed every day knowing that I won life's lottery. Honestly, I do know that, and I do believe that. And yeah, so onwards and upwards. We just hit 7.6K. I have a feeling we might get to 10K soon. I have a feeling we will. Okay, right. Okay. Oh, there's a chat humbling. Ha! That better. Look at you people. Look at you people. Lollipop. Talking about YouTube. Let's see. Right. Lollipop doing the balloon thing. She thought after watching YouTube videos, it will. My dear, did you ever hear about editing? Them YouTube videos are lying. They are lying. They will tell you. They will tell you how easy it is. Now, this is me exposing myself. No. You know what? Unless you're watching a YouTube live video, the long form format, unless they present you the raw process, there are moments where you have to cut out things and sort of put the video together so that it makes for a better viewing experience. And that's the thing. So, oh God, the best lessons I have learned in cake decorating was when I took classes about the same things I was watching online. Because you'll find that watching is not the same as doing it. But you know what? You should give yourself kudos because you tried. You went to seek the information and then you tried your hands at it. That can't be a bad thing, Lollipop. Give yourself some kudos about that, okay? Right. She said, I'm not really done. I've not really done a big party. I can't take the idea of my children. Look, I am the sort of parent who has enjoyed not wanting to do anything for my son until he can ask for it. Okay? Because them kids' parties, it's a lot. Okay? It's a lot. But yeah. Thank you, you people. Lollipop and Tapeta. You guys just make me feel so special. Little petri dishes. No one warned me about the part of motherhood. Ish. Tapeta, can we go sit by the fireplace and I'll tell you? Jesus. Can you see? I have tears in my eyes from the joy I feel, my people. Being a parent, you have got to pray to God for grace. Okay? You people be out here lying. Okay. I'm just going to just let that be. Okay? Okay, so Tabitha says last year she had a text from someone on her phone. It was a wrong number. Who is texting you on a wrong number? I could have been rude telling them they had said, but I was kind and wished them a great day. And you never ever know what people are going through. So any little opportunity to be kind, at least if you can't, you know what? We don't always have it in us to be our best selves. Let's be clear. But here's a working principle. At least if you can't be kind in that moment, don't make it worse for that person. That's the principle, because I have such an unsettled spirit. Okay, some days I'm like, oh, I can't deal with this. You people just get the best version of me. One of these days I'm going to summon all the people in my life and I'm going to sit them here and see what they say about me and see if you will stick around after watching that video. Okay? Okay. If you want to know what is going on, if you want to know how people are going on in their lives, okay, see how they are driving on the roadside. You can tell a lot about a person's character and how they are driving, where they are not patient and they are horning at you or they are zooming off. You're like, where are you going? Okay, Caroline, welcome to the stream. Good morning. I want to say good afternoon, but it's good morning for you. How are you, my lovely sis? I hope you are keeping well. Great to see you today. How is the weather wherever you are? You know what? When I came here, did I say we were going to cut into the cakes? Now look at the cakes. They are still sitting here. And my mama on YouTube will be a mess. Okay, it's wild. First of all, mama doesn't speak English, so that would be very tricky. But you know what? I think it would be lovely to have you, except she's in Ghana, so I might have to go to Ghana first. But yes, who knows? That might be a memory to capture. Who knows? I mean, the older you get, the more it becomes apparent that your parents aren't here forever. And I always think about my mom and I'm like, oh, I need to make all the time I can with her. Aisha is back. Darling, welcome. Hello. I know you're not here for long. I hope you are having a good day in school though. Anyway, it's 2 minutes past. Which cake shall we cut first? Okay, let's do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which should we go first? Which one goes first? We have the cupcake, we have the burger, and then we have the flour. Which one should we cut? Janet, hi there, darling. How are you? Great to have you. Depending on the road, they are either heading in to have a great food or heading in the... Oh, you know what, Tapeta? That is so true. That is so true. That is so true. Oh, it just, it is so hard. I have had a couple of experiences in recent times, in the last year or two, that has just taught me to just be grateful about life every day. Okay, when you wake up, your loved ones are okay, there is no sickness that you can't help, and just be grateful. That's all, okay? And that's the thing. Janet, where are you joining us from? Oh, toddler woke up screaming. Lollipop, see you later. I'm sure we'll catch up in the post. But you know what? We are supposed to be cutting a cake. So which one do we go to? I'm going to start with the burger cake because you know what? The cake has to go. Okay? Keeping those cakes here and holding those cakes out is just diabolical. So let's try and cut through into the... Can I cut the mug cake? Yeah, we could, but the mug cake is still fresh. We have some old cakes we need to cut. And this is the burger cake, right? The burger cake that has so many bits and bobs on it, okay? So, first of all, when you get a cake like this, it will be sitting on a cake board. So, let's see how many servings we can get out of this. This is how bad it is. Look, it's so sticky. It has stuck. Okay, we are getting the chips out. We are getting the chips off. They are so hard. Okay, let's see. Right. Anyway, for those of you who are just watching, it's because this is scrap cake, okay? So I can leave it for as long as I can, but nobody is eating this cake, by the way. So these are the chips we made, and they are stuck on here. Now, how much? Now, let's take a few guesses. How much do you think you will pay for this burger cake? How much? We discussed cake prices here before. So let's have a conversation about how much a cake like this will cost, and put how much you think you will pay for a cake like this, and also put how many servings you think we are going to get out of this cake. Okay? $25. Janet. Right. Which is about 20 euros. Janet, which country are you in right now? Where are you joining us from? Sir? Sir, here. Here. Sorry. Right. So, oh, okay, you live in Germany. Okay, Janet. Oh, you live in Germany. 20 euros. Janet, I take it you haven't got yourself a custom cake before, because a custom cake for 20 euros. Wow. Okay. Okay. We are cutting through the cake. Let's see how many servings. Oh, even though it is so hard to cut through it because it's dried out now. Okay. Because I have videos on this channel. I have videos on this channel discussing cake slices. And for a cake like this, you can cut it the way you want, Okay, and this is sort of a 5-inch. Remember, we molded the cake anyway, so let's see how many servings we get. This is sort of what you call party servings, and they are not exact. These are like larger slices, if you like. Remember, we have so essentially this is a slice of cake you will be getting from the burger cake, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 party servings. And considering all the edible elements of this cake, if I was to make this cake, and it's a serving of 8, I'll tell you how much this cake will be in terms of price point. You're looking at anything between 150 and 180 pounds. And that's not because there is 8 servings. The 160 to 180 pounds means you're paying quite an arm and a leg. The reason why this cake will be priced as such is the amount of skill and detail that goes into it. So whoever buys a cake like this is not buying the cake because they want to serve the general population. They are buying a cake because the cake's value is in the art and intention to communicate something special. So most of the cakes like this that are super expensive, it's not because it's still like flour and sugar, but what you are actually buying is my skill. Okay, so for that, this cake is really, really expensive. So this is a serving of 8 party servings. I mean, if you got it a little bit smaller, supposing that's about 15 servings from the small servings. But imagine if you had this cake with all the chips and everything else, you're looking at 8 to 10 servings, and that is about a minimum of 160 pounds for a cake like this. No wonder nobody is rushing to come and buy a cake like that. Okay, anyway, we've cut one cake. I'm kind of thinking, should I just, you know what, if I don't put it in the bin now, I will end up wanting to keep the cake. So no, I'll need to take a thumbnail photo for later. But yes, that's our burger cake finally done. But if you want to see how I made this burger cake, it's all up on the channel for you to see. Go have a look at it. And then we have another cake over here, which is our flower pot cake. I don't want to have to mess my work table, okay? I don't. So perhaps we'll come back and cut one. We'll read it one at a time, but I'm actually desperate to rid of the cakes, people, okay? Aisha, yeah, you go. Look after yourself. All the best with your exam, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon, okay? People, it's 2:15. Janet, it's okay, not to worry, okay? Right, so we were talking about pricing the cakes, and yeah, it's a minimum of 160 pounds, and that works out nearly for a serving. Okay, darling, I can't do anything. It's Aunt Monica. I can't. People, can I just say, we're finishing the live now. I have an emergency. My sister needs me, so I've got to go. I'll be back on my next live. Take care.